Today I am working in R and I want to run over just a few aspects of RStudio so that you're a little more familiar with it when I get to showing you what our model is for the Maths for Maths series that I'm doing. So there's nothing wrong with using R base R program, but I would typically use RStudio. Now, if you're downloading them, you do need both. You need base R and then you also need RStudio. RStudio is the more user-friendly interface that I prefer working in. R is a little bit different from some of the other programming languages, but at the same time, it's also quite similar. Let's go through the 4 panels that I have on my screen currently. So at the top here, where you can see this fun-looking code, which it doesn't have to be perfect, it doesn't have to be particularly pretty. If you are an expert in R, I don't care if it doesn't look great. It's for married at first sight data. It will be fine. There is a whole heap of rules and guidelines around how to make your R code look pretty, run pretty, all that sort of thing. But this here is my basic, bog standard R script. This is where I give the software instructions to follow. I can save this, I can send it to somebody else, and it's got all of the bits there to tell the computer what you want it to do. Down the bottom, I have console, and usually I have console open, unless there's an error that comes up, in which case you get another tab. But console is pretty much where I usually am working. This is where any of the lines of code from the script that you run, this is where they are executed. So the computer's brain, its actions is sort of more down here. This also is a great area where you can just run temporary code. So let's say I want to do something really simple. I can just type it in. It doesn't get saved, but it's there if I need it. Over on the right-hand side, I have the environment. This is where it shows you everything that you have to play with. It's like your toy chest. All the bits and pieces that you've worked through, that you've saved, that you've executed. So for example, Math for Maths is going to come up in here when I run it. At the moment, it's empty. Typically, I would stick within the environment and I wouldn't usually use any of the other tabs, but you might find those useful. Let me know if you have a good use for those. The last one down here is sort of a viewer. You can view the files, your plots, packages, and of course, get a bit of help. Typically, I leave this on plots or help, just so that I can see what's coming up. I've got that down there. I will do another video going through a little bit more of the code, but this is just a starter on the RStudio setup.